welcome to RSG One Mic. I'm here with my man, Hank and Darnell, the super intern. We at RSG One Mic, this is the place where, we kind of put a hot topic that only you're going to get here. We put it in the middle of the table. And one of the things we always want you to remember that all hosts are brought to you by Patreon. Go to Patreon to support your favorite underground artist or performer. You can go to Patreon and also support RSG. Check out the description with us here, but you can go right to www.patreon.com/RSG Live. You can also find RSG on all social media platforms under Real Sports Guys. We're on Twitter, IG, Facebook. If you want to get me, I'm at RSG D Wills, DLWI. Oh, did I do D? What did I do? DWIL.
D Wills.
I'm struggling today, boy.
You mean you don't know what your name is?
I don't know what my name is today, man. I'm struggling today. And as all, you can catch us on Blog Talk Radio, and you can catch us on Apple. It's been one of those days, y'all. I'm just gonna tell you that. It's been like, this is what we Real Sports Guys. We got things going on today. We in and out of meetings. We're doing all kinds of stuff. At the same time, we love to do this. So that's where my mind is right now today. That's all right. And I ain't going to clean that up because that's just how we get down. And sometimes you're struggling. You struggle on your job. I'm struggling on my job right now. But I can't struggle alone. And I won't struggle alone because I got my boys. I got my man, Big Bang Hank. What's up, Hank? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. And let me tell you something. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we come out here, we just do what we do, but now we can everybody can see what's going on now. We done brought the barbershop to y'all. I'm looking around, you in your office, I'm in my man cave. I got the game on right now. I got the clicker.
I know, I got the game on written
I got the clicker right here while we broadcasting. I'm looking at stuff while we going on. I love this. So y'all gonna see what this is really going on. It's good to see.
Oh yeah, we gonna get there. And then y'all hear it on the airways. We got our man, the super intern, who recently did this incredible interview with us with Dougie Fisher that's catching fire on Twitter. Cats is retweeting. Every time I turn around, somebody's checking it out. Folks have repackaged the interviews and retweeted on their own. I ain't never seen nothing like this, man. Darnell, what's up, man? You about to be a star?
Oh man, I can't wait. You know what it is. Another day, another dollar. Another day above ground. It's all the same. All the same over here. Good to be here.
Oh man, it's all good. And we always trying to tweak, and we always trying to also, Darnell is the youngin' in the group. We always end the show. As y'all know, one of the things we try to instill to y'all that there's values we still got to do. So we always end it with the elder statesman, Hank. We always trying to find a way to bring the youngin' into the mix as well, because part of this whole game is mentorship, partnership. We're doing this cross-generational kind of stuff. And so Darnell represents the voice of the youngins in this thing. We try to, sometimes we might have to bring the dog out on him because the youngins lost their mind. But he does bring it. And so we want to, every time we try to give him a little bit piece of the pie. So we put him in the director's chair today. He's going to direct us through, in the spirit of the Game Changer. Game Changer is probably one of the best directors out there when it comes to directing the show and keeping it moving. He's the best in the biz, and we will be getting that RSG big show back there. I know Phil and them out there like, D, you forgot about us. No, I haven't. I'm about to bring y'all, I got to bring y'all out the bullpen. Them cats are like the kind of superstars. You got to let them rest, can't be on tour all the time. So we're going to bring them back on. But we got another cat we trying to mold into that captain's chair. So today we're going to let my man take the wheel, drive a little bit. Don't drive it into a dang bus. we going to still be
and definitely don't drive into nobody's kitchen.
Oh, no.
Keep the car on the road. And make sure that you put the car and park in the driveway.
Because this is like driver's ed. Hank and I still got control of another wheel.
Hey,
and we got a brake, but we hope we don't have to use it.
Get in the back seat. Pull over, get in the back seat.
So we're going to let the youngin' take over and do his thing. Give it over to you, young fella.
All right, now we had an NBA fight night coming on last week. So I'm gonna kick it off with what I call the Spitgate between Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo. Have you guys seen this? Have any thoughts about it?
Oh. Hey, I'll let you. He's spitting.
Oh, I ain't spit. That was by accident, D. Did I get you? Oh man, I didn't mean to get you. That was on the download. You didn't see that. There was nothing to see here. I ain't gotta get closer to the screen. Look here. You know what was funny about that? You thought that that they tried to see if his knee was down, if he scored a touchdown. How close can we see until we see this sputum come out your mouth and hit my man? That was the craziest thing I had ever seen.
Yeah, they kind of had a little thing that was across it.
Yeah,
to show the space.
You can see, if you look at this feed right here, you can see the trajectory coming just. Oh, come on.
On his bottom lip.
On his bottom lip. No, here's the problem I had though with Chris Paul. Okay, don't put your hand in my man's nose. He'll hit you. He'll spit on you. Okay,
I know. Chris Paul got that little man's issue though. He like,
what's that? What you spit on me for? No, what?
No, he was just not trying to get fined right there.
Oh,
that's fine.
The season just started. The season just started. Go finish your vacation out.
Yeah.
Okay, Rondo, look here. You know what? That was the craziest thing I had ever seen. Okay, as far as all that's going on. You know, Shannon Sharp. I don't know if you watched the show with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Shannon Sharp said, "I'm going to take the 20 games. I'm taking the 20 games on CP3 because I'm going to try to knock you out. Just suspend me for 20 games. You don't spit on no man. Okay, you don't spit on no other man."
But I'm gonna say this. You remember last time something happened in the Staples Center? CP3 went through that back door, tried to find a room because he knew the building. You know he didn't do that this time.
No.
But in his defense, that was Trevor Reeves' idea.
Yeah, but he
wasn't able to get there. So
he didn't. It wasn't like he didn't want to do it. And so because remind you, Rondo hit him with a check left hook.
Yeah.
It was the left hook. But then Chris Paul came with the uppercut. He hit him with the upper. He came back, but that check left hook was serious. Like these cats.
I thought they went to the cards. I think Rondo got him.
Oh, I think it was a 10-8.
If they went to the cards, I think that last punch, took swayed around. In my humble opinion. Let me ask you this. But let me ask y'all this. Okay, prior to all of that, okay, what's up with James Harden? Can somebody tell me that? I mean, don't you at least step to a cat who just gonna steal on you and push you from behind? Ain't you gonna at least step to him, even if you ain't gonna do nothing? Ain't you going with one of your boys to come over and then like, what you up to?
He's from the other side of LA. He ain't from Compton.
He say from the other side of LA?
He ain't from Compton.
He done pushed me.
He said he ain't from Compton.
What is that? Dude, what is that? I got a problem with that. I mean,
but
I know you don't play no defense, but dog, what about self-defense? You don't even play self-defense? What? What?
But Ingram did the walk-off punch.
I got a problem with this NBA.
He punched and walked off the court.
Look here, I got a problem with this NBA.
Yeah.
Okay. You know this, D. Back in the day, that game is suspended till a further date. You just ain't gonna sit there and just push somebody. And that's it. Nothing happens. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm like, you supposed to be up there. Here you go, get the popcorn ready. Ralph.
And Lonzo, and Darnell and I talked about it on the Cypher that just dropped here. So if y'all get a chance, go here, listen to me and Darnell on the RSG Cypher. We covered this topic a little bit. But both Lonzo Ball walked away from it. And Carmelo was like, I ain't losing checks. Carmelo, he wasn't even a peacekeeper. Carmelo was like, I'm not losing checks. I got to figure out this stuff with the wife and everything in New York. I'm not losing checks. I don't know how much money I'm going to pay on some other stuff. I ain't losing no checks. You ain't even going to see me near the pile. Like Carmelo was over there like looking, and that's his boy. Carmelo looking over there like, I'm not gonna get caught on tape. I ain't got no checks to lose.
Man,
That was crazy. LeBron was put in a tough situation because that's his, he's the godfather, Chris Paul's child. So it's a lot of stuff going on, man. But I like the fact they did it. That's one thing about it, because they haven't been doing that stuff lately.
they have.
I like the fact that they were, hey, look, we are putting up with this. And I was okay with that. It felt like we went back to the 80s and the 90s.
What did I talk about?
Yep.
Good old-fashioned hate.
That's
Okay?
hate, man.
You got to have some good old-fashioned hate, okay, to just get a rise up in you.
That's right.
All this lovey-dovey stuff, man, it ain't good. It ain't good. I mean, I get it. Okay, don't get me wrong. Grown men, show a little restraint, but you got to protect your teammates. And I don't care who you are, okay? You don't let nobody spit on you, okay? You don't let nobody, if any time it's time to kind of lose a little control is when you got another man's saliva in your mouth, all right? Okay, I don't play that. I can tell you. Let me tell you, to each his own, that's your lifestyle, but that's what you do, hey, but it ain't mine, okay? That's just, we don't play that where I come from.
Not in that scenario. Whatever you do on the court. I don't know what you've been eating. I don't know what you had for dinner, Rondo. I don't know. I might be allergic to shrimp. I might have a breakout. You hit me with something.
Yeah, I might have a peanut.
You ate some shrimp scampi and you getting that on my lip. Now I gotta go get my EpiPen.
Hey, see,
playing that. I'm coming back at you.
Now I gotta go get my rabies shots. And my stomach already sensitive. I'm just saying.
All right, so we had another fight. I think it was the same day. It might have been the next day or something like that, but actually it wasn't really a fight. It was more of a beef. Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, Joel Embiid, boy, he just be all up in the news, always agitating. But he always selective with his agitating in terms like that. But Andre Drummond is a wrong pick.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond looked like, I'll cut you. Andre Drummond looked like, I'm going to chase you all up in the dang stands. Andre Drummond like, I might fly to Philly and walk up on you. Mm-hmm. That's legitimate. Like, that's a beef like to say, who's going to be the best big man in the East?
Right.
Like, youngin', I hear you coming. I was the guy. Oh, now you trying to come and take my block? We ain't having it like that. That was one of them type of looks. And that's how they getting at it. And so it's interesting. I don't like all that joking. Andre looking at him like, I don't like all that joking, all that. I ain't being funny. I like it, man. Especially because it's Detroit. Like, right. we can all relate and feel like, okay, my Pistons getting their chest back. So that I really respected that. Don't really let this youngin' come up here and talk all that junk. I got George Blaha on the call. We got to go get this one right now. So I like that. I like when the big fellas get after it. They set the tone. But
they should set the tone.
Yeah.
They absolutely should. So that's their job. Okay. They're the ones who's supposed to be getting physical every time down the floor. So I'm with you. And see, the other piece that I love is, okay, what's it? This Drummond said, this we ain't at UConn no more. Okay. This ain't UConn no more. I don't have to be all zipped up. I'm down here in the D.
In the D.
I see how they roll down here. Okay. And now I feel like, we got some structure. We got something going. You ain't coming into my crib. You ain't gonna walk into my house.
That's right.
And act a fool.
That's right.
Know? And I like that dog that they got. My Drama, I think, has always had it. But I don't think that it was. I think Dwayne Casey's trying to bring that out of him a little bit more, yeah. and you can see that early, and that's appreciated as a fan.
Yeah, we gonna defend our home court.
Right.
And you youngins think y'all want to come up, you ain't coming to the D's shine out like this. Mm-hmm. And I always said that when Detroit's good, that's a tough place to play because you got knowledgeable fans, but you got fans that'll fight you.
Right. Please go to Malice at the Palace for those who don't understand. Please
ask Karl Malone before that finals. When game one, he was in the layup line, and he's about to get in a fight with that Detroit fan, and he ain't run up in there. You don't know what you're gonna come out. You might run up there and come back with no shoes, no hat, no clothes.
Ask Meta World Peace how'd that work out. And Jackson, ask them how that worked out for him.
Well, I say Jackson got a couple hits in that time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That fight, yeah. He wasn't scared. But staying in Detroit.
You get a whole stadium ready to whoop your butt. You might want to just kind of be cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, now staying in Detroit, we have the Pistons are 4-0 right now. Being led by Blake Icewood himself with a 50-point game with Drummond's absence after being ejected. What are you guys' thoughts on that, starting with Devon?
Well, it's the most I think since Rip Hamilton hit with a 51 or 52. And he missed his first 6 free throws, which was amazing. So you got to start off with a slow start. But what I love is not just the 50 points. He had 50 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. He shot 20 and 35 from the field. To me, when they traded and got him to Detroit, we talked about this on that trade, and I thought he would be good. I thought the East would be good for him. I never believed Blake was a California kind of player. I always felt like this is a kid he's from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
His personality, I felt like he would play better. He's the kind of guy that he's not Karl Malone but being that kind of star in one of these medium-sized markets, in a place like Detroit where you got a lot of fans, you don't have to put up. I think it's the right environment for him to grow. I think in some ways we talked about CP3. He's a great point guard, but I think the way he leads, I think kind of really limited the way that Blake could lead and find his way. And I think he's finding his place. And you can see he was playing with enjoyment. Like, I wasn't seeing him before playing with enjoyment, but you watch the highlights and see that he was playing with enjoyment. And Dwayne Casey, I think we're finding the strength of Dwayne is his ability to build the capacity of players, to get players to do what he wants. And he's as much in this because of what happened in Toronto. It's like they all got something to prove, and he letting your boy go. So I love when Blake was going, and he poked on your boy. He poked on Embiid, and the second time he came to hold the poke on Embiid, Embiid escaped out the back door because he didn't want to get posterized. So he was giving that look the whole game. But the thing about it was they needed all 50 in overtime. Like if he would only scored 45, they would have lost. They needed every point he gave them.
You know what? But it was good. It's good to see Blake Griffin have a game like that, and it's good to see him have a game like that early. That he has the capability right now at this time in his career to be able to do that. Now, granted, it's early in the year, but you already see, this is about the Detroit Pistons as a whole. You already see a different attitude that Dwayne Casey has brought to this team. Now Dwayne Casey, we talked about this a lot last year, D, about, was he going to lose his job and stuff? Is he taking Toronto as far as he can go? This is a great fit for him as well.
Yeah. Okay,
this is a Detroit Pistons team that's not as devoid of talent as you want to believe, okay? You do got 2 stars with Jackson at the guard position, and then you have Drummond, and then you have, Blake Griffin that has told everybody that he's glad to be here. Mm-hmm. You hear superstars say that all the time, but you can't necessarily always agree with it. But he's playing like he wants to be here. And with the East being as much of a toss-up as it is, tonight they just beat Cleveland, so they still haven't lost yet this year. Okay, so that's going to also, like I said, that's a great start for this team. And being in the East, they got a really good shot to make a playoff spot and maybe make a push. And we'll see as the season goes on, where the pecking order will be. But it's a great start for the Pistons.
As well as the Pistons, we also have Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors. They're also undefeated. So I'm going to ask for Hank's thoughts on this one.
You know what? I will tell you. I thought this would be a good fit for Kawhi to get going. He's that player that he tried to really play under Popovich's system when he was in San Antonio. So to come over here, he's playing like he wants to play. I think that what we looked at with this team was, would he fit in and how would that look? Early on, he's looking great. We all thought that this trade with him and DeRozan was going to work. So we shouldn't be surprised right now. Okay, we shouldn't be surprised that he's finally getting back on the court. Let's also not forget the fact that he finished the season and didn't play anymore with all these injuries. So for him to just get back on the court to get a fresh start, it shouldn't be a surprise that he started out this way. The rigors of the season, does he stay healthy? And does he feel like he is the undisputed leader right there in Toronto? And if that be the case, again, I just talking about with the Pistons. You're talking about East that's wide open right now. You're talking about a team that had the best record, okay, in the East, which was Toronto last year. So let's see what happens. But no one should be surprised at this point that he's playing this well, and for no other reason that he's just enthused to get back to playing.
Yeah, I mean, and he starts. I mean, he already has 2 games with over 30 points.
Right.
He's doing a thing. But the thing you know what's different about him? He's probably talked more since he's been in Toronto than he was ever doing in San Antonio. I heard this. Now I know what he sounds like.
Right.
So that right there is a clue to me that of how interested he is in this. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I know everybody talking about him going back to LA, but we sometimes got to understand, and I think this was the thing about Paul George. You know, Paul George grew up in LA, but grew up outside of LA. He liked fishing. He liked doing a lot of outdoor stuff. So people thought about Oklahoma City in ways, not thinking about how Paul George likes to live his life. So not only I think he enjoyed playing with Russ, but some of those other amenities. Kawhi is not a big, like, I want to be in the limelight kind of guy.
Right.
But Toronto's got a lot of qualities in terms of a city and lifestyle that's good without you having to have the paparazzi like you in LA. And it's in the East where he could probably dominate. And so, and he's got a coach who is utilizing him. They open up the offense. In some ways, as bad as the situation is for Dwayne Casey, I think Detroit is a better fit in Toronto for him. And I think, the coach that they have right now, Kawhi's got in terms of opening up the offensive stuff and stuff they're doing out there for the Raptors is pretty good. But I think you need to keep a close eye on this because, like I said, you think I'm funny, but the fact that we probably heard him speak more in 3-4 weeks than all the time in San Antonio. I don't know if I've ever heard him do an interview.
But think about this. Think about this, D. I mean, you make a valid point. You say you heard him speak a lot. Now, he didn't feel like that was his anywhere at all. Okay, when he was in San Antonio, you had the Tony Parkers, you had the Manu Ginobili, you had these other guys and when he did say something, they jumped right in. You recall when he got injured, that caused a big rift between him and Tony Parker. We talked about it right here on this show. So I'm not going to say nothing. This is Greg Popovich and there's all of these other thoroughbreds or veterans that's going to come ahead of me. So yeah, we talk about this fresh start, being here, being able to talk about and all this. We'll see a whole lot more, I think, out of this Kawhi Leonard than we ever saw in San Antonio.
Yeah, it's like you always are going to be little brother,
right?
And exactly. He can never get out of that and find his voice.
Right, exactly.
Find his voice, and it feels like he's much more comfortable. In his ways, you can say a Kawhi Leonard can be comfortable, right? And I think part of that is Toronto's a different kind of place, man. You can kind of roll, people are going to see you. But, a lot of people who have been there for a while love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's adjusted a lot more as an NBA city and doing something. But when you get there, it's got a lot of culture. It's got a lot of diversity. But it's also a place that, where he's going to be able to sit back in the cut. If you want to shoot to New York, you shoot to New York. It's going to be an interesting season. I mean, I don't know if it's a slam dunk he going back out west. I mean, it could happen, but I don't think it's as big a slam dunk given what he might find on his journey in terms of what he thinks he can do in the East.
Right. He's found his voice. I just hope he can find his laugh.
I was like, he got the whooping cough?
You know what? His laughs sound like when you play it. They used to play an album backwards to see if you had devil talk on it. That's what he sounded like. Satan is my daddy.
Oh,
like, play that forward.
Speaking of LA, I'm gonna kick this off with Devon, but your Lakers are struggling, man. I know this might be a typical of a LeBron season, but the Lakers are real struggling right now. Do you have any thoughts on this?
How you play like my Lakers? You give me because I look like Steve. You think I'm Steve? I'm a piston through and through. Now, when you see your cousin Steve and tell him his Lakers struggling, but I've been a supporter of LeBron. That's not a secret. He's a Midwest born. He's done a lot. I don't think they're struggling now in this way.
They haven't won.
They
won at home. They just won the other night.
Well, but the thing about it is they opened up against Golden State. They played the Rockets, and they had to play San Antonio. Like that is a tougher opening you're going to have. And if you win one of those two, it's great. If you go 0-3, that's great. If they would have started off with Atlanta.
But they beat Phoenix, though. That's the only thing.
But when you start off with those three teams, you going to lose 3 games. But however, what I loved about it is the pace, and Kuzma, the game they could have won, he hit what, 30-something? They're pacing.
37.
LeBron missed the free throws down the stretch. He's not going to do that all the time. But what I like is the ball movement. The problem they got is when they go with that small lineup, they can't rebound. LeBron is just not that guy, so they just give it up. But Lonzo is shooting like 42% from three-point land. Like his shot, and he's taking it with confidence. So when I see that, the other piece, I keep saying this, by January you're going to see it. There's a young man that's not dressed yet. He's a rookie.
Oh,
Mitch Wagner.
Oh, I'm not Mitch.
And when I say that,
another Michigan dude, I forgot.
Yeah,
well, but the thing of not just a Michigan dude, but this is a tall guy who can rebound and shoot.
Yeah.
No, I said he was a Michigan dude because I misspoke and said Mitch McGarry instead of.
I thought you were gonna try and get that's another story. That's like where are they now?
Right, exactly.
He should have been smoking them Scooby snacks. He would have still been playing. But we'll get back to that. That's a story for another day. But I think when people evaluate the team about their ability to shoot, one of the things that they don't understand is that they're shooters, and it depends on how he brings them along. They got 2 rookies who can shoot, who ain't afraid, who gonna get some minutes. Plus, they got Alonzo improving his range. I mean, 42%. He shot well at UCLA. It just didn't look right. I don't care what it looked like as long as it go in. I didn't think he shot with the kind of confidence and he was dealing with all the new stuff. I think LeBron is taking so much pressure off him. I think LeBron is allowed to play. His daddy ain't said nothing.
Right.
His daddy ain't said nothing.
Well, they paid him something a little under the table.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you see them go on a run where they win 5 or 6. I think the good thing about them being in Phoenix on the road is it was like camp, getting away from home where they could do some team building. When LeBron gets them on the road, start doing his team building stuff, these young guys are going to conform to that. But I like the kinds of things. What they got to do is they got to find another big that can be small to be on the court, because McGee is playing. McGee is playing above his numbers, but when he ain't on the court, they got problems. And maybe when they get Wagner back, Wagner is an underrated rebounder, but he also will give you space to shoot.
Right.
So they might have to make a move where they can get one more rebounder who can also space a little bit. But
they got rid of Randall.
Huh?
So they got rid of Randall.
I know Randall was the one to have, but that was the one I thought they should. I mean, he would have been perfect with this group. If you add Randall into this group, they probably would have won a couple of those games, just because he could have given them another dimension, and they could have rotated him and JaVale out, or played them together. But I'm not staying off the fact that I think they're going to be in that 6, 7, or 8 seed. I think they're going to be in that range.
Well, you have to also look at LeBron's history.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is really the same thing he's done, over the course of, the last several years. You look at his first few games, or his team's first few games when he first went to Miami. You look at his team's first few games when he came back to Cleveland. Okay. They've had slow starts. In fact, I think when he went to Miami, they started so slowly that people were starting to question, was this the right move or not? You follow me?
Right.
I mean, they thought this was the biggest
500 record.
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to take him. he's not going to come out the gate. What he is he knows that this is a marathon, this 82-game season, and it's not a sprint. So he's going to learn his new, teammates. They're going to learn him. They're going to be fine. What's going to eventually be the Los Angeles Lakers is they are just in a very deep, Western Conference.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're just going to be in wars every night. But that being said, yeah, you're going to see some nights like this. But this is really, if you've been following LeBron James and how they start the season, this ain't nothing new.
And if you look at these young players,
this ain't nothing new. What he does is he paces himself through the regular season.
That's right.
Get himself ready for the playoffs, and then all of a sudden it's like, where did this team come from? And he'll let you know about before they get to the halfway point whether this is a team he can win with or not. Or he'll just like he did last year and just trade them all off and get him another one.
but I think you hit some really good point about this, the way that he usually does this. And I think if he was honest, his goal is to get home court advantage. Like that would be a dream in the first round. That would be a good learning point. And the thing people got to realize, even with that young group last year, they competed against some of the best teams and won some of those games. So these young kids are not afraid of OK City. They're not afraid of some of these teams because they beat them when they didn't have LeBron. So they know once they get this, these guys got a little bit of confidence. Kuzma he knows he's good. Kuzma don't walk on the court like, I don't think I'm good. Flint native. Right. Don't walk on the court like he think he can't play. They got a level of confidence and stuff. So I think you hit some really good points around that.
Yeah, and to go back to LaVar Ball, listen, he was going to have to shut up, okay? I mean, look, only ones that's buying Big Baller brand is him and Lonzo. So, he might as well.
Stats.
That's it.
They like these record companies
him buying.
it up.
So he might as well just enjoy this, because at this point, your son got a chance to play with a legend, okay? Now, we will ship his tail off.
Oh, yeah.
We have no problem with that. So what do you want to do?
I'm going to get me a Big Baller brand hoodie.
Huh?
No, I said I'm going to get me a Big Baller brand hoodie.
You might get one and just wear it on the show.
You would have to put your retirement fund on layaway for that jump. And you don't want to do that.
I can't go get them as a sponsor.
Man, them things is you know what Big Baller brand is? Big Baller brand is what they call Ekin. You know what Ekin is? That's Nike spelled backwards. So you don't want no part of that.
Well, Hank's on fire now, and so was Stephen Curry last night. He had 50 points and 11 assists at halftime. 51 points, sorry about that, with 11 threes at halftime. Not halftime, third quarter, my bad, third quarter.
Yeah. You know what? This is what's fun about when the NBA gets started. Everybody's fresh. And they going out here. It's almost like, everybody. And you look at Golden State, and you know what to expect from them. You really know what to expect from them. You talk about a Steph Curry, and just coming out there and just lighting it up. That's what he does. That's what he does anyway. So it's like we should be like, oh, okay. You hang 51 in October, fabulous. That means you done took a gazillion shots over the summer and you ready to go, and it shows. Okay, once they done knocked your butt down and everything, let me see that same shot go down in January. But see, he's at the 2-time defending champ, so that's fabulous. What I want to see with Golden State, and not to deflect from what Steph is, he's a great player. You know that, okay? He's an MVP player, but. Just the other piece I want to talk about is what are they going to do with Boogie Cousins? What are they going to do with Boogie Cousins? I'm hearing now that they're talking about just bringing him off the bench, just like as a what did they say, a part-time player or something like that. That's going to be interesting with him. But yeah, we should not be surprised this time of the year with Steph clowning the way he does. That's what he do. It's fun to watch too.
Well, we got news that Boogie Cousins is he's actually progressing pretty well right now, and they said that he might be starting scrimmaging pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be dangerous for the rest of the league. Well, the Warriors
what he is an insurance policy. See, because I promise you, the thing that's going on with Golden State is you do have LeBron James. in the West. And it's not lost on the Warriors of what this man is capable of. All right. So you're going to do everything you can to make sure that if he got to be the only one to beat you, he is. Okay.
And you also got a guy like Walton who understands some of the stuff behind the scenes.
Right.
He understands the little quirks. He understands some of the things that most people might not understand. He just didn't have the weapons and places to activate on some of those things. So you can't discount what Walton knows.
Yeah, but if I have JaVale McGee guarding on Boogie Cousins, I'm taking Boogie Cousins every time.
But if Boogie Cousins is shooting all the time and not passing, I'm letting Boogie Cousins go.
Yeah, right.
Well,
right.
Boogie Cousins don't pass.
Boogie go get 50.
If you try to
go
go
get 50.
Cousins, you're in trouble.
I'm saying Boogie go get 50.
He go get
50, Boogie.
Look.
That means Steph got 3.
Boogie be boogieing down the road with that team. He better recognize.
Steve Kerr be like, trust your teammates, like he was telling Durant.
Man, Boogie gonna be like Charles Barkley was back in the day. He was like, "You not gonna double me?"